My face when we could have just told her we needed to talk to the boss instead of us having to go in deep undercover. Also, my face when the artificer turns to see my character's reaction only to be given the biggest scowl. Our DM was not prepared at all for this, just expected us to murder these people. Hey everybody, SkyDieRay here, and the Giant forced me a Sword of Recollection and it makes me feel nostalgic. Not sure if this is a reference to the Giant forced me a sword video. If it is, that's really cool. How are you guys doing? Welcome to another memes. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into the video, I want to quickly kindly ask you if you're not yet subscribed to the channel to consider doing so now. It only takes a moment and you can undo it later if you change your mind. And yeah, thanks so much if you do subscribe. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. The Scarlet Hairband. How to intentionally plant a false lead and make your players groan. People I know have really enjoyed the story from a homebrew session in 5th edition a few weeks back, so I thought I'd share it with the community. Maybe it can spark some creativity. Session 1. Maybe November? On the side of the road, just after setting off to find the cause of a missing trade caravan, one party member, the gnome Spore Druid, scans the ground for any clues. On a whim, and thanks to a great roll, I tell him that he found something. A sort of hair adornment or accessory, round like a ring, scarlet in color, with a faded but unique insignia on it. I draw a symbol off the cuff and the players take some notes. What I have done here, by doing that, is trying out something that has been widely successful that I never really tried before as a DM. Laying down some tracks before even I know where exactly they go. I have the ingredients and some frameworks, but with this I was only armed with a glimmer of an idea and had no sense of just how flawlessly this would eventually play out. It's session 20 something by now, in early summer, and the same player has become personally invested in discovering what this thing might mean, and takes every opportunity to search new areas for this sigil or anything similar. This was helped greatly by the character's conspiracy theorist mindset. He tells anyone who will listen about flat plane theory. But as the story developed, I finally found my chance to cash in on almost a full year of questions. The team is smuggled with the cargo of a merchant ship to avoid some well-connected enemies. In the cargo hold, I tell the players that finally it's right in front of him, the mysterious symbol, on the side of a barrel in the cargo hold. Overwhelmed with excitement, the party watches as the gnome procures the tools to pry open the container. When it's finally opened, the party is hit with a horrific stench. The barrel is loaded up with pickled fish. As my players try to understand this turn of events, one asks for details. I tell them that, to the best of their knowledge, this fish species is red herring. Okay. What followed will be one of the most treasured memories of D&D that I'll have for years. The players are in varying states of groaning and howling with laughter, and the player who opened the barrel simply walks away from the table. It only compounded when I told him they'd had all the info with them the entire time, because what the party had been carrying all these months was, in fact, a red hair ring. If you're the kind of DM that can walk the line of cruelty and hilarity with your players, feel free to adopt this to your own campaigns. Best reveal I've ever dropped on anyone. Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, no, that was great, but at the same time, freaking traumatizing. Jesus Christ, I would be so mad. I mean, it's great, but at the same time I would be so mad about this. How my party turned my campaign into a horror campaign and got 2 levels in one session. Be me, fairly new DM with an attitude of, if it's fun and it makes sense, I'll allow it. Level 4 party consists of an Warforged Artificer, Fairy Sorcerer, Warforged Druid, Changeling Bard, and a human Rogue 2 and Wizard 2. City is built into the side of a chasm, where the deeper you go, the worse the city gets. The campaign starts in a section controlled by Mafia-type bosses. Party has been recruited by a casino owner to collect some info, steal some shit, embarrass his counterpart, and rescue or kill a captured Dragonborn operative. Also promise the party a level up at the completion of each mission. They complete the heist mission with the Warforged Druid, collecting some pet Modrons. It's a long story. The party decides to start planning for the info mission and the rescue kill mission simultaneously. The sorcerer goes to the brothel to collect info on an aristocrat showing up in the underbelly of the city, sort of knows the owner. Druid and Rogue go to the prison to scope out the area. The Rogue uses Find Familiar as a rat, and the Druid transforms to a rat and wanders through the rat-infested prison. Find the operative strapped down to the table, being prepared to be tortured by the prison warden. The Rogue decides to distract the warden by biting his ankle. Allow for a little extra damage because I'm scared they are in deep shit. The warden is now limping with a small hole in his ankle and goes off to bandage it. Through a number of bullshit, they manage to convince the captured operative to stay quiet and that help is coming. They do this while miming the whole thing as rats. Miming? I think miming. While the rogue is quote-unquote communicating with the operative, the druid finds a ruined cell with a cave-in at the back. Deep in the cave-in, he finds a tunnel leading out to an alley near the entrance of the prison. Meanwhile, the sorcerer convinces the brothel owner to give up info on the aristocrat and why he's there, and returns to complete the mission. After a shopping trip, the artificer meets up with the druid and rogue, offering his help dealing with the dragonborn. Artificer places his homunculus servant on the druid's, still a rat, back, and the rat returns into prison through the tunnel, now affectionately named the Rat Pack. Rogue's rat sees Warden approaching the dragonborn and decides to go for bite number 2. Manages to nearly sever his Achilles. The warden kills the rogue's familiar in anger and goes off to bandage the other ankle. The rogue earns the title of Ankle Biter. While this is happening, the druid gets the homunculus onto the dragonborn, which is commanded to climb down his nose, gets stuck and starts burrowing into his brainstem. Takes 4 turns with guards running to see why the f this dude is screaming. My face when I realize that there is no rescue coming and they decided to silence the operative instead. Guards have absolutely no idea WTF to do or what is going on and start untying the dragonborn in desperation. The artificer repeatedly casts Shocking Grasp through the homunculus directly onto the dragonborn's brainstem, does not die quietly or quickly and manages to make a dash for the entrance only to be shot at by the warden and dies with one last shock to his brain. My face when they get out leaving little to no evidence and the guards completely confused as to what happened. My face when I realize that they have turned my high fantasy campaign into a grim dark campaign. My face when I remember that this get 2 levels and are now level 6. Immediately start buffing all future encounters. I love my little group of psychopaths. Oh god, that was something. At least the final message was positive from the DM, I guess. That time I almost sold the party into slavery. Be me, the Tabaxi Bard in a pirate campaign. Be not me, Dragonborn fighter and human artificer. We've been tasked by a fellow crew of pirates to help take care of the rise of a gang from my character's backstory in a nearby town. Nothing better to do since our ship was damaged in a fight and it needs repairs. My character knows one of the gang members since they used to be in a traveling performance troupe with them. We tell the captain of this other crew that we need time to get the people that are in the gang unwillingly out. The captain scoffs at the artificer and I, but our dragonborn fighter manages to give him a giant stuffed bear as collateral if we betray the captain. This captain is very not interested in wenches. We arrive a ways from shore and get told that we have until dawn the next day to do what we need, after which the captain is going to raze this gang to ashes. The party looks to me for a plan on our way over. I didn't think we'd get this far, .mp4. Come up with a plan to find out where the gang hangs out in the town. We meet a shipwright who's down on his luck and give him a job on our ship. Nothing of value is found out in the taverns. Artificer notices some hobo signs on the walls and follows them to an alleyway where we see some of the gang members in a gambling ring. Walk over to them in a disguise that I made on the way over. Hello fellow mateys, .wav. I tell them that I found some new recruits. Get asked if anyone will miss them, and I tell them that no one will miss the other 2. They lead us down another alley, and it turns out they took us to what my character knows to be a slave trader company. It turns out the new gang members are brought there to be enslaved to higher up ones. As we go through, my character realizes that she's led the party into the worst possible scenario. Gives the fighter and artificer looks that say, don't drop your spaghetti, just follow the plan. And this is not going to end well. Reach the slave master, and it turns out they brand people and then write the name of the owner in blood on them. Turns out, apparently, you have to be branded to join the gang. I was not informed of this by my friend who was an ex-gang member. Fighter and artificer look about ready to throw down. My character gives them looks to beg them to just stick to the plan. They don't go with the plan. The fighter throws a reindeer figurine on the ground to hit the slave master, and the artificer goes full on Iron Man and blasts 2 gang members in the room with us. I cast Charm Person on the lady that led us here, and she's friendly now. Tell her that we need to talk to the leader of the gang, and it's really important and we're trying to calm everyone down. She tells me to go speak to the boss then and bring help. A gang member's head suddenly gets bashed in with reindeer hooves while the artificer just vaporizes another. I tell the lady that we're here because there's info that her boss needs to know, or else there's going to be a smoking crater where the town used to be. My character is pissed off at the rest of the party for screwing this up so badly, but she's trying to keep in her pretend role. The slave master managed to get near the door to the room and tells his guards to halt. Apparently, the guy knows Dragonborn's dad and seems that his family bought slaves from this guy and he never realized. Gang member lady asks me why I told her that the party wanted to join when we could have just said that we have information. My face when we could have just told her we needed to talk to the boss instead of us having to go in deep undercover. Also, my face when the artificer turns to see my character's reaction only to be given the biggest scowl. Our DM was not prepared at all for this, just expected us to murder these people. Jesus Christ, the DM does not trust you that much, does he? He really does. He really set a low bar, yeah. Trying to get rich. Be me, DM. Be not me, Rogue, Pact of the Blade Warlock, and 2 other party members. Get into a new town. The Warlock tries to sell off their packed weapon to a weapon trader. Gets caught while his magical contact identifies it and passes it off as a joke. Party goes to a magic shop to look for weapons but can't find any and asks for contacts who might have some. The party goes on a quest, defeats a bard of a much higher level, and the rogue gets his weapon and just brings it around without ever looking at it and doesn't even unsheath it. Another quest, and they get a weird looking sword as loot in an ancient ruin. The warlock sees that it hasn't been damaged by what's probably centuries of aging. Doesn't even consider keeping it though. The party plans to sell the weapons to the weapon trader without even making an arcana check or thinking about identifying them. I facepalm, hoping that they'll think about it by next session. Jesus Christ. I mean to be yeah, obviously they should probably try to identify them before selling at least so that they get an idea of how much to ask for, right? But at the same time, I get it, they don't want to keep them, they just want to sell them. 10 is fine. Be me, not DM for once. Playing a 5th edition one-shot. Organizing a coup for moderately evil people against definitely evil people. We'll get money and fame, or die trying. Solid. Half a session running through the town, making allies and such. We also need the help of Nasty McMean, the Red Wizard, a super overpowered wizard. Obviously, when dust settles, he'll do his own coup. Whatever. We're going to his mansion and all binges on how much power he'll get in the new government. Spent half an hour discussing how much we should promise him. Ended up with a seat for him and up to 10 of his friends in the council. We'll make it a hard bargain. He's there, drinking tea and looking splendid. As soon as we sit, not even allowed to properly greet him or anything, he takes a single sip of his tea and then utters, 10 is fine. My face when. Jesus, that is a bit terrifying. But at least you made a deal. I mean, that's what you were going to offer, and yeah, he just took it. So all ends well, I guess. Alright, on that note, that's gonna be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon as well as on YouTube. I appreciate it a lot. So thank you so much for all the supporters there and here. If you wanna check those out, links below. Also links below to the social media, Discord, Subreddit, and anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.